Hello and welcome to Short Research Tutorials. I'm Paige. I'm going to help you navigate our library. Today I'll be showing you how to read a call number. Have you ever wondered how books are organized in an academic library, or how to find a book in a huge library? Today we're going to learn about call numbers, which are the letter and number codes on the spine of a book. At most academic libraries, the book sorting system that will be used is the Library of Congress. So that's the type of call number we're going to learn how to read today. But keep in mind that different collections use different organization systems, so this won't work universally for all books in our library. Notably, our juvenile literature section uses the Dewey Decimal Sorting System, which is the system used at most public libraries. Alright, let's start at the MyRegent portal and click on Library Resources, which takes us to the Regent University Library website. From here, we're going to click on this Research Guides icon, which has this book. And I'm just going to search Start Here to find the LibGuide we're looking for. We'll go to the left and we'll see the very top result will say Home on Start Here, and we'll just click on Start Here. Now we'll scroll until we see this little How to Read a Call Number infographic. Because all books are organized by topic, which is indicated by the call number, you can browse the shelves to see other books of the same topic and possibly find better ones. Alright, let's break down this call number. We always work from top to bottom, and alphabetically, then numerically ascending. Now, if that sounds confusing, don't worry, we'll take this one line at a time. The very top row is the most important, because this tells us the subject of the book, and will get us in the ballpark of the book we're locating. This row is called the classification letters. All books in our general collection are organized in alphabetical order by this top row. This is what it looks like. This row can have a max of 2 letters, and sometimes only has one, like this one here. For example, let's say we have the letters BA, B, and BC. This is where the rule nothing before something comes in. You may be tempted to think that this should be sorted BA, B, and then BC, but we'll actually look at it letter by letter. So here we'll see in this first slot, all of them have the letter B. Now in the second slot, we see we have A, nothing, and then C. Remember our rule, nothing comes before something. So we would move B in front of BA because there's nothing in that second slot. And now these are ordered properly. Now let's move on to the second line, classification numbers. These further classify the subject of the book, and we read them as whole numbers. Here's what they look like. This is sorted numerically ascending. Remember, we read and sort call numbers from top to bottom, so it will always be ordered by classification letter first and then by classification number. In this example, it may look like these books are out of order when you look at the classification numbers, but they're actually in order because the classification letters are in alphabetical order and they are all different. Here's an example where they're all the same. This is one where we would need to order them by classification number. So let's do that. Remember, we read these as whole numbers. So here we have 1, so we'll move that to the very front, 10.1 all the way at the back, and then 10 goes in the middle. That's how we order by classification number. The third line will be the cutter line. We read these first alphabetically by the letter, and then we read the number instead of as a whole number as a decimal, and these go in ascending order. Some call numbers may have 2 or more cutter lines, so just keep that in mind. The fourth line might not always be the publication year. It could be a second or third cutter line. Here's what the cutter line looks like. Here we have all different letters in our cutter line, and everything above it is the same, so we know we're supposed to order by this line. Since these are all different letters, we're going to just sort them alphabetically. C at the front, B in the middle, S at the back. Now these are ordered correctly. So let's move on and see what we do when the cutter line has the same letter. All of these have the letter S in the cutter line, and everything above it is the same. From here, we read these as decimals. There's this little decimal here to help remind you, but keep in mind when you're physically in the library, not all books have a decimal in the cutter line, so you'll have to remember that on your own, that these are supposed to be decimal numbers instead of whole numbers. You may at first look at this and think that they're in order. S63, S135, S4587. But these are actually very out of order by decimal. So go number by number and order it that way. We see it's S1, so that goes in the front, and then S4 in the middle, and S6 at the end. This is S.135, S.4587, and S.63. And there we are, ordered by cutter line. Now let's move on to the next line, publication year. This is the year that the book was published, and this is organized in chronological order. Here's what it looks like. This row is super simple, and remember, everything above the line should be the same if you're going to the fourth line to order. So here we'll just move this 2011 to the middle and the 2013 to the end, and now these are in order by year. Lastly, we have the volume and copy line, which are not here on this little infographic on our website, but I'll show you an example. This is what the volume line looks like. These ones tell us which volume they are in a series, and the copy line tells us if we own multiple copies of the exact same book. Both of these are sorted numerically ascending. So here, everything above this line is the same, so I'll just move 3 to the middle, and here we have these sorted correctly by volume. And it's okay if you don't have volume 2 and volume 4. Our library might have that book checked out currently, or we may not own it in our collection. You still order it chronologically. Here's the copy line. Keep in mind that copy is not always spelled out. Sometimes it just says C dot and the number, but sometimes it does have it spelled out here. As well, there are some cases where copy will not be indicated at all. Even though this book is copy 1, it might not have that listed here if it was the first book added in our collection and we were not receiving them at the same time. If we receive this book later, we would indicate that it's the second copy. So we'll just move copy 2 to the middle and copy 4 to the end. This one really is copy 1. I'll put that here just so that you're aware. Alright, now you have learned all the elements of a Library of Congress call number. Come in person to the Regent University Library to test your knowledge, and remember, if you ever have trouble finding your book, you can always ask an assistant at the resource desk and they'll be happy to help. Thank you for joining me on this library lesson. If you have any further questions, please reach out to us by email at librarians@regent.edu or by submitting a research question here on this page. Bye!